come from a union family. My grandparents came over from Lithuania. My father and mother grew up in northeastern Pennsylvania. My father was from Plymouth. His father died in the mines in an accident. He worked in the mines for a while until he got out of Pennsylvania and went to Baltimore and worked in Maryland Shipbuilding Dry Dock Company, a shipyard. He was in the Union of Marine and Shipbuilding Workers of America.
Yeah.
And my father was a pretty smart guy, so he became a supervisor very quickly. But whenever the union struck, the supervisor struck too.
Right on.
My father was a very strong union supporter. I worked in that shipyard for 2 summers while I was going to college. I was proud to be a member of that union. I've also been a member of the American Federation of Musicians.
Yes!
And you people have no idea how many people have died for unions. There would be no middle class without the unions. You wouldn't have 8-hour days. You'd work 7 days a week. You'd get slave pay. You wouldn't get enough money to live on. And that's what they want to do. They want to break the unions. The unions made the middle class in this country. And without them, there would be no middle class. And that's what's happening. The middle class has been under attack since Nixon came in, actually really since Eisenhower. And it's gotten worse and worse. Ronald Reagan busted
Started.
and now they're trying to bust unions in Wisconsin and everywhere else. You have no idea how many people have died in West Virginia to fight the unions. Unions send goons in with guns and clubs and knives to kill union people, union organizers, and union members. And many people have died from this. Joe Hill is a famous one because there was a song written about it. But there are many whose songs weren't written about that gave their lives for what they believed in, which is the American dream. And the American dream is only going to be a memory if we don't do something. If we don't do something now and stand up for our rights in this country, there will be no middle class, there will be no American dream. We are heading for being a second-rate nation because our education, they're not putting any money into it. They don't want to pay the teachers anything. And they're cutting Pell Grants to students to go to college. And we're being passed by China, India, Japan. America was once the greatest country in the world. It still can be, but it's up to all of you. If you want it to be the greatest country in the world, do something about it. If you don't do something, then we're going down the tubes. We are going down the tubes if people aren't willing to do something. And don't listen to Fox noise. That's nothing but a propaganda tool for the right way. Remember, the so-called liberal media is owned by conservatives.
Yeah, really. That's right. That's right.
You know, it's really hard to get the truth anymore.
That's right.
So I just wanted to tell you all, I support unions, and we all need to support unions. And if you want America to be strong, unions are the answer.
Let's get everybody out here today. Let's give ourselves a big hand. And I have some union background. I was 5 years in the International Longshoremen Association, Local 1694 in Port Wilmington. Raymond Thurston's gang, that's right. And that was a real great experience. And then I was up in New York City. I was driving a cab. I was in the Service Employees International Union. Okay, but now I work for the state of Delaware, and I'm not in the union, but I'd like to be. I have some good news, though. The state of Delaware, under the Minter administration, passed a law a few years ago that allows state employees to bargain collectively for our wages and salaries with binding arbitration.
Yes, I was there.
Okay, well that is great. The only problem is that ASPE and maybe some other unions are trying to organize us, and they're having a lot of problems. And it almost, if I didn't know better, I'd almost think people in the state government were trying to slow them down or stop, but I know that couldn't be happening, right? Okay, just checking. But that is underway. They're working now to organize this, and hopefully, you know, because as a state employee, I don't get raises. We don't get raises. You might get a measly cost of living allowance, 1 or 2% some years. Once you get, that you don't get raises when you work for them. A lot of people don't realize that. So, you know, the median pay of state employees is like $35,000 or so. Half of us get less, half of us get more. So, you know, we're hopefully going to get unionized. More of us are going to get unionized. A lot of us aren't right now. So that is work that's ongoing. So that's a good news. I just want to make one comment about Social Security. Now, you know, a lot of this deficit hysteria that we're hearing and all these budget cuts and everything, part of this, a lot of people, I hear national public radio reporters and all saying, well, they got to cut Social Security too, you know? And that is a lie. It's false. Social Security has $2.5 trillion surplus. What they did, with the money, they bought U.S. Treasury bonds, okay, which Social Security holds. And the thing is, I think some of these people want the government to default on repaying those bonds. That's the only thing you can figure, but they won't come out and say that. But we got to fight to make sure they don't cut our Social Security. It's got plenty of money, and we got to let people know. Coons is starting to talk like, oh, he might cut it too. You know, he might agree to some of that. So we got to let these people, our representatives and senators, know we're watching them, and we will not put up with that. So please let them know that. All right. And let's keep it for our grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Hi, I'm a physician in Georgetown, Delaware. I'm also a proud associate member of the United Steelworkers. Me and my kids, we moved here. Wanted to express my solidarity and my gratefulness to the unions. They've made the middle class, as many speakers have said. We wouldn't have an 8-hour workday but for union workers fighting and dying. We wouldn't have overtime. We wouldn't have good health care and other benefits. All of those things are hard-fought battles. As Frederick Douglass said, power never concedes anything without a fight. It never has and it never will. For those who haven't yet had a chance to listen to the recorded phone conversation between the governor of Wisconsin and a caller posing as one of the rich Koch brothers, make an effort to listen to that. It's quite an enlightening thing. It's 20 minutes. You can get it on any web server. You Google it. Again, I just wanted to thank you for doing all the work that you're doing and giving my kids a future in the America that I and my parents grew up in. Thank you.